Hello, hello. Welcome back to Trading Weekly. It's me, Shaun Trades underscore. As you can see there, that's not my actual name. We've got Kaye here as well. How are you doing, Kaye, this week?
I'm doing great. Happy Sunday to everybody. And as Sean said, he's at Sean Trades underscore, and I'm at Invest K.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week in the market, hasn't it, Kaye? It's been we kind of spoke about it last week. We had a bit of a negative turn, or at least I did. It's kind of just done the opposite, which obviously we'll get into in a little bit. How did your overall kind of week trading go? Did it feel good? Did it feel bad?
The interesting part was that last week we talked about AMD as my pick, and when I was kind of walking you through the chart, I wasn't sure if I'm going to take the trade or not, and actually I did not take the trade, and I'm glad I did not take the trade.
Yeah, so obviously they got burnt a little bit, didn't they, on the earnings, but they did recover a little bit, didn't they, towards the end of the
the
week?
so that's the problem with earnings trade, especially when you're
Yeah,
using options, right? I mean, your options would have been destroyed even if it recovered on Friday, right? You probably, I mean, if I would have taken that trade, my option would have probably be at a max loss, even if it recovered, because you're not buying, stocks.
exactly. Yeah, so that's the options trading bad side for you.
Exactly.
Obviously, we are here every week at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Do join us every weekend when we talk about stocks. Obviously, the market, kind of what happened last week. And we take a look at our stock picks of the week as well. And we look into your audience requests. So go ahead and stick them in the comments straight away. I'll stick that banner on the screen there for you for just a couple of minutes. Massive thank you to Wolf. Let us use the platform. We really, really appreciate it. You can see the little signature at the top right-hand corner there. And of course, we're streaming on the actual Twitter as well. So, or X, whatever we call it these days. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Trading Weekly on YouTube. We really do appreciate it. But I think the main thing that we're going to kind of push on here is actually the comments, isn't it, and the tickers. We'd like to get them in quite early. So if you are watching, you're kind of wondering what's going on with your particular stock, we'd like to give our perspectives. But of course, that leads us onto the disclaimer of the video as well, which is we're just a couple of guys looking at the charts. It's what we love to do. We do it every week. We've done it for 2 or 3 years now. And yeah, it's not financial advice, essentially. So should we move into the slideshow, okay?
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Let's pop it up on the screen here. Let's get rid of that banner as well, because that's right in our faces. We are already almost halfway through August. We've got a very busy week ahead, so let's track into the slideshow here. Obviously, the earnings, not earnings, so the market overview of last week. We've got Nvidia up 5%, Apple up 9%.
Mhm.
Incredible reaction on Thursday and Friday regarding that. I'm sure Kay will have a few words on that. Google up 6.5%. Amazon up 2.5%, and Tesla almost up 8% as well. Your stock today is actually Tesla, so we'll dive into that in a little bit more detail a bit
Yep.
later on. Anything you want to cover here on this slide here, Kay?
No, I think we'll cover those specific stocks, as we go through, and I'm pretty sure some, from the audience request, we'll get a couple of those stickers. But yeah, I mean, Apple was, I guess, the star of the week.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, maybe we can pick up that chart a little bit later on because, I mean, what a reaction on Thursday and Friday from the beginning of the week at least. I think it was up like something like 5 or 6% on one day, then another 4% the other day.
Exactly.
Obviously leading for it to overall in the week be up almost 9%. So yeah, incredible week last week. There's a few more names in here. You've got Eli Lilly, obviously reacting to earnings quite badly. Down 16%. What else have we got on the screen here? I'm trying to find something. Netflix up 4% and Palantir after their earnings up 20% as well, as you can see,
Crazy.
just over here on the left side of the screen. Yeah, I think we'll move on from this slide. I mean, there's lots of movements, lots of opportunities to be had, lots of opportunities that have been had, which is kind of in that kind of phase where you're kind of moving money from one asset to another. But obviously, I'm guessing we'll talk about that as we go through this live stream today. We do have the fear and greed index as always. We're up from last week. Last week we were 56. Now we're 59. Actually, feels like we could have been a little bit higher than that. What are your thoughts there, Kay?
Well, I think from an earning, we were neutral last week. So this week, going into the greed, or last week, we went into the greed side. I do feel that volatility is still there. It's still present. It's a couple of news towards the back half of the week really pulled the stock market up, right? Because, if you saw the AMD reaction post earnings, it was pretty bad. But then the stock just recovered. And then on Thursday, when Tim Cook went to the White House, and suddenly the Apple tariff disappeared, um, that pulled the stock market. Right? I don't know what the news for Tesla was, but Tesla was up as well. Amazon was up. Google was up. Everything was up. So very interesting.
Yeah, I feel like Apple might have been pulling the whole market up, perhaps, including Tesla, which is obviously we'll get into that a bit later on. I'm quite excited around Tesla as well. So just from a technical level, but of course we'll dive into that a little bit later on, which I'm sure people are looking for. We've got lots of news. The key events, obviously CPI on, I'm guessing Tuesday, and then PPI on Thursday, along with jobless claims as well. The VIX sitting at 15. Do you have any kind of broad market thoughts on the VIX at 15? Because it's kind of in
That's
the middle of kind of where it is supposed to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like we most of this year we have been closer to the 18, 19, 20, and sometimes we even went around 20 plus, 25 plus. So coming back to the 15 is more like the last year when, it was the usual trade we used to take. Once the VIX goes to 13, you buy the call option for a month and a half out, and then VIX pops up during the CPI, PPI, and you profit from that. This year has been very difficult, especially trading VIX if you don't follow VIX closely.
Yeah, it's definitely worth having on your charts. Maybe not trading it directly, but it's always kind of a good volatility indicator, which is pretty much exactly what it is. Thank you very much, obviously, Man Ram, for coming back once again every week. We love it to see you here. Net, Snow, Chime, I'm sure Kaye has already written them down. And of course, Money Manage, who's another regular viewer, which we would love to have, of course. UNH, Lulu, TTD. I'm sure you're very happy with two of those, Kaye.
Oh,
UNH and
absolutely.
Lulu.
I'm
Yeah.
actually I'm happy with all the three tickers because all three tickers I am trading.
Yeah, perfect. We'll get into them a bit later on then, probably about 15, 20 minutes or so, kind of thereabouts. And we've got another comment here from Sarah Michelle. Do you think Soundhound will hold its move? Maybe we can add that to the charts, because I did look at the chart earlier this morning and it doesn't look too bad. There's a bit of resistance now, but maybe perhaps moving forward they can make another push up higher, because they had very good earnings, obviously, on Thursday, and they reacted up 26% on Friday. From memory, I believe that's right. Of
Yeah, it
course,
was up 26% on Friday.
there you
Two
go. I
dollars
mean, what,
53 cents. Wow.
massive moves. And obviously, hello as well from eRaddle. I hope I said that name right, of course. But yeah, hello. We do appreciate you popping along. Let's get back into the slideshow as we see it then. The next one is upcoming earnings. We are in the thick of it. We're kind of coming down to the kind of smaller mid-cap names now. So the ones that I can see on the screen, at least that I'm interested in, is straight away Upclo, which is after the earnings on Monday. What else did I have on here? I did have a look at this earlier. I can't quite remember what I was looking at. And in the interest of not remembering, what are you looking at this week, Kay?
I think interestingly, I'm looking at Monday.com. That is a SaaS software that I will be actually putting an analysis on Monday.com on the Substack this week. So they report earnings before market open. So after the earnings, I'll post the analysis as well as the other two stocks that I'm particularly looking at, not from a trading standpoint, just to observe on the watch list, is Circle, which is Tuesday before open, and then after close is CoreWeave. Now, CoreWeave has been I would say it's under the radar for the most retail meme names, but this is an interesting stock that I want to track more. And apart from that, I think you have Applied Materials on Thursday after close. That would be another one, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and kind of quieting down a little bit, but there's still plenty of earnings. I'm sure a lot of people have these stocks in their portfolios, of course. I think the other one I was looking at was actually JD.com, kind of
Mhm.
Chinese attachment there. Someone who's interested to see what kind of Chinese companies are doing, especially in earnings. I think I think we were supposed to have Barber this week, but I think they may have actually delayed their
I
earnings
see.
slightly, or they haven't actually released it yet. I'm not too
Uh,
sure.
Sean,
Um,
before you go further, for some reason today, I believe the restream is having some issues because all the chats disappeared for me personally. So if somebody posted a request after SoundHound, I do not see anything on the chat screen.
Okay, I mean, so far we do have MU and MRVL. MRVL we do have obviously on my suggestions today, so we'll be covering that in somewhat of detail, but we will add MU as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Um, yeah, I'm not too sure what's happened there on your side there, but at least I can still see it. That's something
Okay, okay,
awesome.
perfect.
Okay, so our past performance, you won
I
last
won.
week. It's because my stock
You
was
were
down a massive
destroyed. Minus 18.
nine, yeah, 19% down. Earnings, they missed revenue, and if you miss revenue, you're probably going to react quite badly within the stock. It wasn't the biggest miss, but of course, with the revenues that they've hit in a row, I'm talking about HIMS, by the way, the revenues that they've hit in a row for obviously a number of years now, that one revenue miss will obviously have a reaction in the market.
Yeah.
If someone wants to see the kind of reaction I have on HIMS with the technical point of view, I have currently sold out of my position. You might think I'm crazy, but I just think it's the best thing to do at the moment with the emotions around kind of revenue reports, etc. But no, massive congratulations to you. Obviously, AMD, it was down 1%, but you still won. So you've got another notch on the board. It's now 13-4. So yeah, well done,
So
Kay.
it's still pretty bad, but no, I'm clawing my way back. Hopefully, this week I'll be able to beat you as well.
So look, you're only it's 9 weeks behind. If you get nine
Oh
straight
my
weeks,
god.
you'll be level. Yeah, so it's not easy, not easy. But we'll move
Not
on.
easy, not easy. Yeah. No, so it's not like I have to be right 9 times in a row. You can be wrong 9 times in a row as well, right? I could
Exactly. Yeah.
still win.
Yeah. No, our picks this week, obviously MRVL and Tesla. So it's going to be an interesting week for sure because there's a couple of beefy moves that could potentially take place with those stocks, which we'll get into very shortly. So the first chart of the day will be SPY. Um, I'm just going to say a few words to this. I think we're going to make all-time highs. To be honest, I know it's completely different to what we said last week, but we filled the gap here, and we've kind of come down and retested it on Thursday, and we kind of pushed up from that on Friday. Obviously, lots of volume here on the right side, but I've triggered the 650 line just from a psychological point of view. It's a round number. It's kind of halfway between the hundreds. What are your thoughts on this one, Kate?
I mean, I don't know if you're gonna make all time highs again, or are we gonna break the all time high? We're gonna break the equal highs and then make an all time high this month, but we could, right? But the problem is the market is very news and sentiment driven. So a tariff news comes out, something breaks here, something breaks there. It impacts the market. I still am eyeing for that gap, which is around the 602, 604. That's where I would probably add a little bit more to my long term position, because that's about a 5.5% down, right? The gap that you have listed there. Yep.
Yeah, so we spoke about that probably the last few weeks in a row now, haven't we? So it's definitely a point of contact for a lot of people. But of course, if we're just kind of plugging up now, kind of the bull market is still just plugging away. There was a bit of scariness, I mean, I think on Friday, I think it was last Friday. Since then, it's just gone straight up. So
So you
yeah, I
have the
mean, two
you
schools
have
of
the
thought there.
CPI and PPI numbers coming out this week. So if there is again inflation comes in hot for some odd reason, you could see a pullback on this one, because then we go back to the same narrative that Jerome Powell is not going to cut the rates. However, if it comes in line or it's cooling off, guess what? I think we probably may break the and make another new all time high.
Yeah, so definitely going to be an interesting week ahead. Hold your hats. It's going to be a volatile one. So if you are trading, just be careful. With the amount of volume you're using, maybe use less volume. I tend to use less volume in high volatile times just because it protects your account. And if you're trading, you want your account essentially. Very, very simple. We'll move on to the next chart then, which is QQQ, and I've gone for a 2-week chart. I'm not too sure why, but we can see just kind of a broader market view here. Of course, we've just been going straight up since 2023. Obviously, we had a bit of a scare at the beginning of this month, beginning of this year, sorry. But we have pulled back, obviously, well, come back very, very nicely. And I've got some levels on the screen here, which is drawn from a trend-based Fibonacci extension. Obviously, lows are around about here, the highs, and we just kind of pull it back down to obviously the deepest low, which is the most recent one. And I've got these levels which are kind of matching up to where we are on the chart here. So if we do kind of break through to all-time highs, if we get a good CPI, as Kay mentioned, then kind of potentially 620 is on the cards for the next resistance up higher. What are your thoughts on this one then, Kay? It's a bit of an
Um,
extravagant chart.
uh, yeah, I mean, I'd never seen 2 weeks before, but I believe the bottom line is the simple, right? It's most of the tech earnings have already been priced in QQQ, so it's more driven by the CPI, PPI until we see the Nvidia earnings, which will be, I guess, in a couple of weeks, right? 2 weeks or so. That's going to drive most of the gains, because most of the tech names have already reported earnings.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a 2-week chart just because it looks better on the screen rather than the 1-week chart. It's
Yeah.
kind of bigger candles just that way. But yeah, I mean, the video in a couple of weeks will be very, very interesting because obviously they are
and
the big dogs now, aren't they?
and if the sentiment on Apple continues to improve, that will continue to push the QQQ higher as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, what percentage of the QQQ are they? Maybe 4 or 5%, maybe
Yeah, I
more.
think so. I can tell you exactly what percentage they are. You can. I think they are. Apple is now 7.54%. So the top three are Nvidia, Microsoft, and Apple.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty impressive. That's a big chunk of the queues. And we
Yeah.
do have a ticker request here of MRNY. So if you want to add that to the list, and the same person has also said NVIDIA earnings on 27th of August. Thank you very much for that. The viewers will very much appreciate that kind of input, I think. So let's move on then to my chart of the day. Well, chart of the day, I always say that. Chart of the week, and that is MRVL. It's a semiconductor name, and it looks good. There's lots of kind of confluence kind of coming in here for a kind of a risk to reward to a favorable side. And let me kind of walk you through it. We have obviously price action kind of currently trading around 77-ish, thereabouts. Very consistent trend line set from April, the beginning, well, not beginning, but second quarter of the year. You can see very nice higher lows kind of going upwards throughout the time that's been presented here. What I really like is actually the moving averages. So you've got the 200, which is the green one, got the 300, which you pointed me out to, which is the
Mm.
red one, and the 20, which is the orange one there, all kind of really coming in tightly underneath. And price action has been kind of hovering around this, kind of acting as potential launch pad. So I'm watching this for a breakout, of course. So surprise, surprise. I'm not too sure. I think I'm going to start a position on the initial breakout. It's just a small, well, kind of a half position, maybe a third of a position, depending on what the volume is like. And if we come up to this level, which is a previous gap fill, you'll see here with the grey line on the screen there. And then I'm looking for a retracement back down to basically the volume profile and obviously this line, which is about 77.30. So that's when I'll fulfill my full position and obviously look for further upside towards 93. 93 goes back to obviously resistance here and goes back on the chart as well to kind of a bit more volume, which you can't see here. Obviously, the chart is not presented with the amount of volume on the screen. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of confluence here. And obviously, you know me, I like confluence for my breakout trades. So I'm optimistic with this. And just the last point I'm going to make is this vertical line on the screen here, the yellow one, that's actually earnings. So
Oh, I see.
earnings in a few weeks. So hopefully we can get a bit of a move before earnings. So I don't really want to take the position through earnings, of course. I've spoken enough about this one now. What are your thoughts on Marvell?
I think first of all, it's your classic, breakout and retest strategy that you employ most of your trading, right? Second of all, you have the all the conferences you talked about, and then that's the gap fill that we need to have, right, to go to that 83 level, and then basically the earnings are coming out. So there's all these different catalysts are coming up. So as long as they don't screw up with the earnings, and just to add on the little bit of the earning context here, their upcoming earnings, you have 15 up revisions on the earnings, which is on 828. They basically, the revenue estimate is 2.01 billion, and the last quarter they brought in 1.90 billion. So the revenue is going to be up, and most of the times they beat their earnings. There are times where they have come in line, and so it's going to be a very, very interesting stock to pick. And then you said, when is the earnings? 827, right?
It's 28. I've got.
828. So the 829, it's flat. The put to call ratio is 1, which means that the market is also kind of not sure, where how this is going to progress. So that's going to be very interesting. But I do feel that if your general broader market on the semiconductor is on the up, we will probably see a continuation, and probably what your thesis is right now to the 93. I wouldn't be even surprised that you might even, during right before earnings, you might even break that level, right? If things really heat up in the semiconductor space leading up to in the next 2 weeks.
I mean, especially if you've got Nvidia on the 27th of August as well. So
Yeah.
that's, it's a big week for semiconductors. So obviously the smaller names will kind of catch up behind them or even make bigger moves potentially. But yeah, that's my thoughts for this week on the pick of the week. Hopefully, I get another one on the belt. So yeah, wish me luck, viewers. What are your thoughts on Marvell? Stick it in the comments. We'll move on now to Kaye's pick of the week, which is Tesla, which I'm very excited about.
Yes. So this is basically a continuation of the trade that I brought it up right before the earnings. So if you remember, the way I have drawn this wedge and versus what Shaun was recommend or what the Shaun had drawn the wedge is slightly different because I was on a much smaller time scale. Now, as you can see, we had a very strong price action, especially in the last Friday. Actually, last 3 days we had a very strong price action. We
Yeah.
fell below that wedge, and the candle, and then the buying action on the last that candle, yeah, the third candle from the top, that was a very very strong move. We have also gone above the 200-day SMA, which was 324. We are sitting at 329. RSI is 56, so you have a lot of room to run here. And I believe the entire play was that we will have the breakout from this wedge to the upside. So that's the continuation. I'm continuing to watching Tesla here. I think overall, if the general market sentiment continues to be positive, especially with PPI, CPI, Apple is up, and all the other stocks, I think it's just broadly going to push Tesla up as well. Because if you look at Tesla from the last 4 years, relatively it's been pretty flat, or three
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
right? It hasn't really done, Tesla hasn't really moved much. So, what are your thoughts on Tesla?
So my thoughts are it's already breaking out. Because of the same thoughts I brought up a couple of weeks ago whenever we talked about Tesla last. I can't remember when
Yeah,
it was. There's a
right
previous
before earnings.
high. Sorry.
Right before earnings.
Oh, okay, right. Somewhere here-ish then.
Yeah.
There is a high somewhere set in, I think, I can't remember what it was, but some point of last year, and it's kind of out of this chart, of course. And I've kind of drawn a
Uh,
line from there.
377 was 219, 2025.
Okay, so a bit earlier on, so it's just out of this chart then, basically.
Yeah.
And I've drawn a line through there, and what it does, it kind of comes through here,
Mm.
and you've got these two, almost three candles poking out of that trend line. Of course, that's a testament to obviously different points of view in the market, and we all draw different charts, we all draw different lines, and we go through our own due diligence. But it's it's for me, it's good to have this kind of chart presented in front of me as well, to have that kind of double thought of actually, is this the right trade? So kind of giving me different perspectives on different charts, and obviously, hopefully, all the viewers that are watching now, you're kind of getting these different perspectives as well. So I think that's important within trade, and having those different perspectives to kind of make up with your own decisions within trades. Kind of waffled a bit there, but hopefully people kind of understood what I mean. But yeah, I'm looking for further upside, essentially, is what I'm kind of going for there. RSI is looking pretty good. I think you may have mentioned that. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what the
56.
level is. You don't
56.
have 56. Okay, so perfect. It's kind of mid range, so it's got room to run. Dare I say it? Obviously, Tesla gets a bit frothy sometimes. If you get like a really good kind of volume spike, then people would get like, oh, it's moving, let's go. A bit of FOMO might kind of get in place. And my price target is personally 420. Not near term, but just kind of overall, maybe next few months or so. 420. Obviously, Elon, he likes to know number 420. Blah blah blah. Um, but yeah, no, I like Tesla for sure.
Yep. Yep.
So we're both bullish on Tesla. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other names after MRNY, Sean?
Nothing just yet. What I will do is actually, well, let's talk about what we've got going first, and I'll start talking about
All
audience
right.
requests. What have you got going on at the moment, okay?
Well, I regularly post on X, so you could definitely follow me there. YouTube will be coming back up soon in a couple of weeks. I've been saying this for the last 2 weeks, but yeah, it's gonna come back pretty soon. I'm almost getting to a point where I have enough time to make videos and edit them. But I've been focusing a lot on Substack, especially now around. Apart from the trading aspect, I'm also going to start give you a lot more investing opportunity where you can see multi baggers, and a couple of them. The one is on the monday.com that I see opportunity, especially from a long-term investing standpoint. And not just because I look at the charts and look at the financial analysis, is because I also use the tool and I have enough experience, knowing that space for, I would say, about 7 years now. So I also know a lot on that front as well. So that's my personal analysis on Substack. So if you want to get those analysis, make sure you subscribe to the Substack, and that's pretty much it.
And how can they get to your Substack? Is it just InvestK on X? Is there a
That's
link
it.
there?
Yep, all the three channels, all the three social media, same. @InvestK.
Made it nice and easy for viewers. Yeah, so go ahead and head over to InvestK on X profile. You just tag below the kind of Wolf stream that we've done now. Yeah, and check out the great content he's providing, of course, over there. For me personally, I just kind of do daily updates on X, as you can see, Shaun Trades _ there, and YouTube. I've got a video coming out this weekend based around kind of making, I don't know, getting more profits from a particular strategy. So go ahead and check that out, Shaun Trades _ on YouTube. And I go live every Thursday evening, kind of looking at the markets, etc., and kind of going to the market close, giving my thoughts on the market throughout the week so far. Awesome. We'll move on to the next part. First of all, what we'll do is pop this off. Pop this on the screen, which is put the tickers in the comments. I know there's quite a few coming through. I don't know if you can see them, Kaye, now or not so much.
No, it's I might have to like leave and come back in, but I don't want to do that. You can just let me know. I have a lot of tickers already. I didn't know
What's your last one?
MRNY.
Okay, so we need FNMA.
FNMA. Okay.
And can you see that on the screen?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So
Perfect. So you
those
can
two.
pop them up as the new request pop up.
There's more. So we've got CRM and Apple as well.
Okay, perfect. So we did actually add Apple as our first ticker, so we can probably touch that first, and we'll touch CRM at the end.
And there's more. We've got Soon and AI.
Sound, yeah, sound. So sound, somebody already.
It's already on there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
it's already there. So we'll add AI.
Cool. Right, I'll get the chart up ready.
All right, perfect. Let's start with Apple. That's the first one.
All right, here we go. Stick that on there. Charts ahoy! I've got a new laptop, so it should be nice and quick now. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Here we go. Apple.
Beautiful chart, right? You see the strong breakout from that wedge.
I mean, how can you not be bullish on the market with a move like that? I mean, that's incredible. Big wedge breakout. Got all the moving averages down below. The 200 is the green one, and the red one, the blue one coming through there is the 50. So as soon as that 50 goes through the 200, that is typically a golden cross. Not too sure many people really look at that these days. I don't really hear much of the golden cross. Do you?
That was more during the days of the meme stocks of AMC and GME. Yeah. So we don't hear the golden cross anymore, but during AMC, GME, every day was a golden cross.
It's a bit more of an investing thing as well, isn't it? Not so much more of a trading thing, because the moving average is typically like a lagging indicator, because obviously it's the average of the kind of price actions that already happened, not so much for the future. But yeah, I mean, Apple, there's not really much to say apart from it's doing really well. I expect it to continue. I don't know if it's going to continue in such vein that it is already. Maybe it comes down to retest this area of volume, kind of 215, 216. So we're probably looking at something like a little chop down, and then come move back upwards. Obviously, that's market dependent on data, etc. Coming forward. What are your thoughts?
So there are just two pointers on that. Number one is how India plays with US in terms of the whole trade tariff, which kind of blew out last week because of US and India's trade negotiations kind of broke down. I believe they are meeting probably sometime in August, maybe third week or something. So maybe something might come out. So that definitely is going to have an impact on Apple. Now, the AI strategy is the key. And bottom line is, yes, there is no tariff on the phone, but if you're just selling the phone, you will not going to get the price multiple on the stock like Apple. It's already what, $4 trillion company. So if you shift away from the sentiment and the news which drove the stock price, the real deal is basically what's going to happen with the AI. So as they are floating around a lot of options that they can buy Perplexity or announce something new, it kind of coincides with Apple's the yearly event that comes out in September sometime, like in the first week or so. So I think we may still see a continued push with the positive momentum, maybe up to the event, and it could be buy the rumor, sell the news situation. Not that Apple is a bad company, but I feel like right now the momentum is behind Apple, so we may see a continuous momentum to the upside, and based on how the India deal pans out for Apple, and because if there is a negative sentiment between US and India, Apple is going to get impacted one way or the other, right? So that's my sentiment. And AI is crux because AI, they are the laggard among the Mac 7 and AI.
There you go. That's Kaye's thoughts right there. There is a question for you as well around Apple, and it's on the screen here now for you. Kaye, since it's making a gap, will you come down or keep going up for now?
Well, if you were kind of trading, there's this very small gap. That one, if you want to sell options, you can probably sell options around that gap. But as of right now, I feel like it may just keep going up because the last candle was a very strong candle.
Yeah.
I mean, unless CPI completely wrecks the market, then that's a different situation. But if everything is coming in line and you're looking for a rate cut, if rate cut is on the table based on the CPI and PPI, I think Apple has much higher room to run.
Yeah,
Whether
definitely. Yeah.
fundamentally it's right or not, that's a different question. But stock price has nothing to do with the fundamentals. Sometimes it can be completely detached.
Yeah, definitely. I know all about that. Okay, what we got next then?
Next is Net.
With Cloudflare. I
Yeah.
think we spoke about this one a few weeks ago. And there seems to be a little bit of connection issues, I think, for me. I don't know if I'm breaking up or not, but there's a little bit of lag between tickers. So the field of noise, fill the silence with noise is loading, basically.
Yeah, yeah. We still see Apple on the screen. So yep, now we can see. Yep.
There you go. Actually, look at that. So nice little breakout, came back down, retested it, made a move higher. Not quite towards the line. I wanted it to at 221. I didn't actually take the straight in the end, so that's probably a good thing. In fact, it's pulling back. Maybe another retest of 197, that sort of area. What are your thoughts there?
Probably because they did miss they didn't miss the EPS. They missed the EPS gap, and I think the rating after this has been pretty decent, I would say. So probably I think it's gonna match the market. It is a good name, by the way. It is on my radar. I just haven't
On your
been.
radar
Yeah,
for long term or
for
trading?
long term, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just a little too frothy right now for right at this point in time. It
Yeah,
has.
we've got the
I mean,
RSI is actually 56. Not too bad.
year to date, the stock is up 90%. Has
Wow, that's
doubled.
cool.
I,
Yeah.
I used to trade this around the $100 mark.
If we get a pullback to maybe 175, that's not too bad, is it? That blue line there.
Yeah.
Might change the color so it's a bit more visible, to be honest.
Yeah, I think once it started the run, I just stopped trading it altogether.
Nice. Let's move on then.
Next up is Snow.
Another
So
one of your names.
yeah, another one, and look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's going towards that gap. It's like this is like a textbook run up, fill the gap. I think it's going to fill the gap. Let's see if there's any specific news on Snowflake. It's actually one of my top 5 stocks for the year, and we are up 24% year to date. Let's see when they are reporting earnings. They
20th of August, I've got. Oh, no,
okay.
push it
I
down
don't see
to
anything on
27th of
the
August.
okay. I don't see anything on the Seeking Alpha. The date is not listed there, but they do have a 24 up revision. So seems like the street is very bullish on the Snowflake. I mean, they have been beating their earnings from the last 4 quarters. So last 1 year, they have been beating EPS and their earnings revenue. So, definitely a name to watch. I do think on this weakness, if you're looking to add the stock to your portfolio, look at the 200-day SMA at 173.
Just I've got a 180 on me.
Oh, okay.
Me. But we have different moving averages. I've got exponential.
Oh, that's the reason. Okay, got it. Okay, so yeah, so 173 at 200, and I think it's going to fill the gap. That's what's going to happen.
See, for me, that's the gap fill is the 200 moving average, as you can see there.
Yeah, because
so
you're
2 points of
EMA.
confidence.
Exactly. You're
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on
And
SMA. So SMA is much further down around the 173.81.
And then if you zoom out as well, I've got lots of volume profile here on the right side. So that's 3 points of confidence. So if you're not looking at this name, viewers, then I think you probably should be. I'm not saying you buy at those levels, but just have it on your watch list and see what happens.
I mean,
and that's the beauty of these calls that we do.
Listen, when I listed this stock up I think I started in December. The stock was around $132. It had its fair share of run and down, up and downs, but Now it's definitely doing the had the good run up. But again, you know, I always look for those gap up and gap downs, right? Because it made a gap up, now it's gonna probably pull back. But this was a pretty hard sell on Friday. I don't know why. I did not track it. Do you know why?
I
The
don't know
candle,
why. No,
the
not too
candle looks
sure.
pretty stable.
Maybe who brought this one up? It was Man Ram. So Man Ram, if you've got any information on this, if what happened on Friday, perhaps you could probably put it into the comments. I know Kaye can't read it, but I can put it up on the screen and then you can read it. So just quickly on the weekly chart as well, it's coming down to the 20 and the 200. So the gap fill is also kind of that 50 moving average if people care about that. So there you go. That's Snowflake. We'll move on, shall we, to the next one?
Chime. CHYM.
Someone mentioned this yesterday on.
It's down 15% on Friday. I think they reported earnings on 8/7. They beat the EPS. They beat the revenue, but the stock still pulled back. So I'm assuming it might be the future guidance.
Maybe. Yeah, so well, I don't know, I have the information here. I've got two beats here, but that could be interesting. Could be different. But yeah, this one was suggested on my X yesterday, so I've kind of done recent analysis from a chart point of view. Anyway, obviously there is a wedge that we had here, and it's broken straight through. This is the daily chart, so it's a fairly young stock, only kind of incepted in June. And I said to the person, I think it's going to go lower, judging by the reaction to earnings as well. I don't know. I mean, it could double bottom here, that kind of 28.30 level, and obviously make a bit of a return back up to this trend line set here. So maybe up to 33. That's a good return, probably about 20% ish. But yeah, I mean, given the reaction on Friday, you would assume perhaps it's coming down to the levels of 25.51. I think that is. So yeah, they're my thoughts from a technical point of view.
I mean, I think I'm going to add this to the watch list because it seems interesting with the IPO coming up, and let's see how this plays out.
Awesome.
Okay, next
Right,
up
we'll
is
move on.
UNH.
UNH. I'll let you straight away talk about this one. You kind of got cut off at the end of last week, didn't you? Because your
Well,
internet kind of wobbled a little bit, and obviously we didn't get it. We kind of
yeah.
got most of your thoughts, but not quite. So take it away, Kay.
So I think for me personally, I'm watching for UNH to go further down. I do think there's more downside to UNH as opposed to. However, I think there was some news around UNH over the weekend that might push the stock up higher. Uh, but unless you understand why the stock was down, I think on the 7th we got a news UNH to be investigated by senators on nursing home practices. So this is completely different from the DOJ issue that. So this news popped up later, but I think there was another news on the DOJ side for UNH, which went in the right side for UNH. So as of right now, I'm still watching UNH. I haven't started the position because I do think that there's a off chance the stock will pull back further, and yeah, that's about it. I mean, I'm not trading. I'm just watching right now. UNH. That's all I'll
Yeah, and
say.
I think that's the kind of correct observation because all the while it's not making higher highs and it's making lower lows. You can see obviously the low here, and it's making a lower low in the last couple of weeks. This is the weekly chart, it's been more a broader view. All the time it's doing this, you would expect it to continue going down, of course. Why wouldn't you? And then obviously you look for the next major part of support, which is, of course, I've got drawn on the screen here, around 200. Obviously, we do have this big volume spike here, so if we lose that, then I definitely see at least 200. And then we've got Felix here on the screen here. I'm adding to my position in UNH. I think a lot of people are adding to it, and I think it's important to kind of add slowly over time, especially when the chart's doing this. If you believe in technical analysis, of course, the fundamentals might say something different.
Yeah.
But from at least from my point of view, that's what I would be doing. Yeah.
So it makes a lot more sense, right? So let's say if your cost basis is much higher in UNH, right? So you would definitely add to lower your cost basis. This is more specific for folks that who do not have a position in UNH and want to start a position. So I would want to start a position at the lowest price possible. Can it turn around and go to 300? Yeah, sure. But as of right now, I still feel like even if I grab it at 300, right? And there's a gap up all the way from 300 to what 330 to 370. If I'm just going to swing trade that, that's enough for me to make the trading profit. But I do not want to enter a new position at 250 and the stock pulls back to 220 and I'm basically at a loss. That's the mindset. So from an investing standpoint, I think it makes complete sense if you are dollar cost averaging to lower your cost basis.
There you go. And just one quick observation, this is the monthly chart. And you've got the 300 moving average around 213, which I know you like the 300 moving average.
Yeah.
At least my 300 moving average, yours might be different than mine, but
Yeah, because
yeah.
you're EMA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
can't be too dissimilar, really, can it?
No, it is actually. The 300 on my side is 156.
Whoa, okay. That's all the way
Yeah,
down here.
that's a pretty sharp drop. It's $100 off from here.
The viewers watching, put in the comments now which moving average do you use, if you use them at all? Exponential, smoothed, or what's the other one?
Simple moving average.
Simple. So if you use any of those, which ones do you use? I only use EMA just because I don't know, it's just the first thing I picked and just kind of run with it. It works for my trading every now and then, but I use it more of a momentum indicator anyway. Anyways, we're kind of digressing. Let's move on to the next chart. What
Next is Lululemon.
Lululemon. Awesome. Another one of your stocks breaking
Another
down
one
at the
of my
moment.
stocks, and this is again the same situation. If you do not have a position in Lululemon, you want it to consolidate before you buy in, because if this stock was a $400 stock, now it's 186. Who says this stock cannot go down to, I don't know, 150? Right?
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. I mean, it can continue going. It's broken this trend line, so I can
Exactly.
basically in free fall at the moment.
But if you already have Lululemon as a position, then you should definitely not miss the opportunity to lower your cost basis.
If you believe in the company.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm assuming if you have a position already, you assume that you have done your due diligence on the company.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. Next point of major technical support is 161. So there's still room to go further,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably
Now,
doesn't make you very happy. But
now keep in mind the difference between Lululemon and, let's say, Palantir. Completely two different. But the reason I'm saying it, Palantir, you have a big retail investing, right? So you have a pretty big retail group buying Palantir. So you hear a
yeah,
lot more noise. Lululemon, on the other hand, has a big institutional buying. And the problem with that is that you generally don't hear the institutional buying unless you have those real-time trade alerts, which you have to pay hundreds of dollars. You get to know quarterly, okay, this people added this, this hedge fund or this fund added X number of stocks from this company. So this is more of an institutional play. And at some point in time, no matter how you look at the, whether you believe in Lululemon, you don't believe in Lululemon, at certain point, this from a valuation standpoint, it becomes so cheap that you will see institution piling back in. Now, what is that level? I don't know. It could be 150, it could be $100, but it becomes so. Again, it's probability, right? When you are at all-time highs, the risk to reward, and when you are going downhill like this, there's a risk to reward, right? At some point, it becomes too appetizing to actually get into a position.
the asymmetrical bet.
Exactly.
The words that you
That's
kind
the
of
word.
brought up at the
Yes.
beginning of the year. Yeah. Nice. Okay, let's move on then to next one.
Next is TTD.
TTD.
While you pull up the chart, this is the one of the best trades I have ever had, and let me kind of walk you through. So, two earnings back. So this one, the one before, and the one. So 3 earnings back, I got into trade desk when we had that gap down, right? That was from the 129 to 85. So I bought the at around 80, 85. I bought it. No, maybe I think I bought it lower than that. I think 70 or something I bought. So then the stock even went down further in the 50s and I guess 40s. So I had bought that stock, and then it had that massive run up after the previous earnings. So something happened, right? It went up to all the way to 80, and I sold a covered call. So I made profit on that. And then I sold another cash secured put when it went down, and then it ran up and I closed my position. And guess what? It's back down to $54. What a
A
run up.
wild ride you've been through.
Yeah, with TTD, it's really been a while, right? So it's been like almost 3 quarters now. I've been trading. I've been in this name now.
Are you continuing to?
My covered call is almost 100% profit now, so I still hold the stocks around the
Yeah,
54 $53 mark, which is current at price. So once it expires, I'm going to sell at the money covered call and basically bank more bucks on that.
awesome. Well, there you go. What are your thoughts from the chart point of view? Do you think it comes down further?
I don't know. I haven't tracked the earnings, why it dropped, but seems like Kathy Woods is buying a lot more TTD. Again, at some point in time, this becomes, I mean, it's not a small company, it's a $43 billion company. And the short interest is not like, it's a 20-30 short interest, like 4.5% short interest. So you have to really look into the what was the reported earnings and why exactly. What is the
Yeah,
future? What is the future guidance? Why you had such a big reaction, like a 30, like 40% almost. The price of the stock fell 40% on one day, 38.61 to be exact. That's risk. That's very scary
it's very scary, especially if you're holding the stock.
for such a
I
big
think,
company. It's not a no name, a meme stock.
yeah, there's got to be something in that report that's obviously not favoured, of course.
Exactly. So what
Um,
happened? I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but uh, if you're a long term holder, you should revisit the thesis behind what happened here.
exactly right. And with that, I think that's a good way to end on TTD. Let's move on to the next one.
Next is Soundhound, Soun. This is yours.
So Soundhound here, we've got, go back to the daily. There we go. Obviously moved up very nicely, 26% on Friday. But we've come to the top of the channel. So I do think we have a little bit of a pullback here. Kind of showed it on Friday, actually. Obviously lots of volume here. So maybe we come back down to retest this sort of level, which is around about $12. I did have this on the chart the other day, but it seemed to disappear. But yeah, $12 I think would be a good place to have it. And of course, if that doesn't hold, then we're looking for a gap fill, which basically takes away the whole of the euphoria of the earnings report. So the earnings report, obviously, it was positive, so it needs to kind of build on that and move forward. The other thing that could happen is what happened to Palantir, and that is break out of this channel. So we could see something like a little bit of a push out, previous resistance on left side of the screen. I'm pointing with my finger, but no one can see that. Um,
Mhm.
pull back down to obviously the previous channel and obviously make up to kind of about $20 or so, because this stock can do that and it has done that before. So there is definitely a possibility for that to happen as well. I'm more optimistic for this second scenario to play out rather than the first one, just because of the nature of the stock and the nature of the move it's making. Will I trade it? I'm not sure. It's yet to be seen. It's a name that's very, very choppy, very hard to trade in my experience. I've had a few good trades, a few very good trades, and a few bad trades, which have obviously managed my risk and minimize my losses as a consequence. But yeah, just be careful with this name if you are trading this one. I know whoever brought this up earlier, I think it was Elucidit brought it up, as you can see on the screen there. So hopefully that helps you, Elucidit, and I think someone else did as well. No, I've lost that comment somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh well,
Okay.
it was someone else. Let's move on.
Mike, MU. Micro.
MU, people are really talking about this one, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've drawn a parallel channel here, which is completely wrong, but you can see nice breakout. What are your
Mhm.
thoughts? Did it have earnings recently? No, they didn't.
No, it's going
Just
to be coming, it's coming up on the 9/24, and we have 22 up revision. So we may see even strong continuation here on Micron. Is this the right point to enter? I don't know. Maybe you can wait for the pullback. Maybe we could see. So the high was 129, right around the June time frame.
yeah, 129, 130-ish. Yeah.
So question is, can it break the equal highs? Can it take out? Right. That's going to be interesting.
I mean, semis as a whole, they're getting a nice move with this market, aren't they? So it's obviously riding that wave. I think they had good news. That obviously must be the reason why it was up 6% on Friday. But the perfect time to enter K, at least by my book, was when it broke out here on Thursday and it came back down intraday for a
Yeah.
retest of this level, and obviously subsequently moved up. Obviously, I didn't see that because I'm looking at other stocks, got other trades I need to manage. So that's where I would have looked at it for sure. Do you have a particular strategy around this sort of price action? I'm assuming not.
I mean, yeah, I mean it already made this massive move. I don't know if I want to get in at this point. Maybe on a weakness, because if you sell options, there is an opportunity here. You can go lower delta to collect premium. But if you're going to do or a spread, or you just want to swing trade this by stocks, I'll wait for a pullback at least around the I guess the 110, because see there is a gap between the 108 and the 111, right? That's the gap.
Yes, that gap there, isn't it?
Yeah, if we can get back to the gap fill, that could be an opportunity to add to your position for stocks to trade, the common stocks, I would say.
Yeah, and you've got that kind of previous support as I've kind of drawn on the screen there. That yellow line is 109, but you've also got previous resistance with the trend line here. So that could actually come back down to 105. So anywhere between there could be quite interesting for further upside. But of course, this kind of reaction needs to play out first, because it's a good reaction and I expect it to kind of continue. But how long
But yeah,
for? Obviously, is yet to be seen.
yeah. Next one is MRNY. I think this is a yield max.
We do have a comment here from Kalo Q Hadrian. So no one's going to mention the obvious QQQ spy. So what we do is we actually mention that kind of towards the beginning of the stream, probably about 10 minutes in or so. So if you are watching this, rewind back to the 10-minute, or you can catch it obviously on our YouTube channel. You can go back to it nice and easy there, which is obviously subscribed to Trading Weekly on YouTube. You can get it there. I hope that helps. Kalo.
So
Sorry, what was it?
MRNY. So this is a yield max mRNA option income strategy ETF.
We're gonna have
And
to rattle through some of these tickers
yeah,
because we've
yeah,
got a
we can
few
go
more come in.
quickly at this one.
This is 199.
Yeah, it's a leveraged. It's an option income strategy ETF. So I mean, if you already if you have this, I don't think you should be trading this. This is more for generating income on your investment. I wouldn't be trading this one at all. Okay,
No,
next
neither
one
would
is,
I. No.
yeah, FNMA. That sounds familiar. What is that? Federal National Mortgage. This is Fannie and Freddie Mae, right? Oh my God, 1 year is 692% up. This stock.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you don't need to be a long term holder in Palantir or Hood. You could just have, you could figure this one out, and you made 700% in 1 year.
it's crazy. November 24, 666%. That's what it's currently sitting at. But yeah, went up to 800%. The comment around this, there was a comment that followed up. So we had Felix here who originally brought this one up. And then there was just suggested to become largest IPO in history. I don't know if that's related to this or that's another comment that we were talking about earlier. But yeah, that's that. Fannie Mae, I don't know what they do. Is it insurance or something like that?
Yeah, I think this is the insurance, and then they were in 2008, the financial crisis, the housing crisis, financial crisis. They were the one of the, I should say one of the, they were one of the impacted companies.
Right.
So the news on that one is this: Bill Ackman proposes combining Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Yeah, we don't trade these names, but I mean, if you were in these names, man, you made monster gains, I would say, in the last 1 year.
Yeah, all you
Anybody,
have to do is look at the volume
yeah,
and look at the
anybody
last
who,
candle. So Felix is, I think, gloating here a little bit. And fantastic. I mean, congratulations. But
wow,
average is
look at that.
129. He is
And Felix, I
flying.
really hope that you have a big position, and I really hope you made a lot of money. Good,
I
good
mean,
for
even
you.
if you don't, even if you don't, 800% is
It's
pretty amazing.
it's amazing. But also make sure that you take off your principal and let the winner run. Amazing. This is great.
Okay,
Next up
let's
is
move on.
CRM.
CRM, the Salesforce, and
Yeah,
I'll let you touch this one.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, quite a long channel.
let's see what happened with Salesforce. I don't actually invest in this stock, but I know that there are big fans of Salesforce. Like year to date, the stock is done pretty bad, 30% down year to date. So the difference between Salesforce and Snowflake, Snowflake is more data side of the shop versus Salesforce. They're just trying to do everything. I don't know if you use the software. I'm personally not a big fan of the software. That's just me personally. It's a very clunky software. They tend to add a lot of things in their software. But again, I'm digressing. Same situation here. It's on a downturn. Financially, they do pretty well. But again, the crux with most SaaS companies is the same. Is they are all building AI features within their software. So the problem is, are they able to monetize it? Same problem with Microsoft Copilot, same problem with CRM, same problem with ServiceNow, same problem with most of the companies. So until they figure that out, we don't know. It looks from a financial standpoint, fundamental standpoint, it looks pretty good. You can talk about free cash flow and debt and assets and net income, all that you can talk about, P ratios. On paper it looks great. Am I going to buy this right now? Probably not. Going to wait for the consolidation to happen, change course, and then maybe build a position.
Yeah, it's interesting you say how you think it's a bit clunky. You're probably not the only one that's experiencing that, and obviously the user experience with companies is pretty much everything. So it's interesting feedback for them. I'm not too sure they're going to be watching this, but if they do, there you go. There's the feedback. But my chart suggests a broadening kind of channel that we've got here. Obviously, this is a very loose line I've just drawn. You can draw any line you want, but this is 76% to the upside if it was to break this downtrend that we're currently in. Currently sitting on the 200 moving average as well on the weekly. So big areas. Obviously, we've got earnings just around the corner, so they need to post something exciting for investors. Okay, let's move on.
AI.
There we go.
And the last one after this is
Ooh.
RKLB, because that's the only I have seen.
Yeah, we've got a few more as well after this,
Okay.
which we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, I mean, look, this is the weekly chart. AI, it's kind of within a range. I know you like a range, but this is a pretty big range. We're kind of talking between, let's have a look, 1782 and 45. So that's a massive range. I don't really trade this one. I think I have a few years ago, but I kind of switched off from the name. It was just a bit too, I mean, you can see on the screen, it's too choppy. Yeah.
Okay. Next up is
Yeah, we'll move on.
RKLB. I know this is a
Rocket
pretty,
Lab.
yeah, this is a very,
I'm in this trade.
oh, then go ahead, take it away.
So I'm in this trade for the one reason, the same reason actually that we brought up. What was it?
Before
The
you
ticker.
complete that, before you complete your thought,
Yeah.
just like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, 800% in 1 year. So congratulations to everybody who made a lot of money on this.
Did you say Freddie Mac?
Yeah, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the one that FMCC and FNMA that we've just
Oh,
discussed.
okay, right, it's an actual
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So yeah, this one for me was similar to, I can't remember the ticker. I really can't. I brought it up a few weeks ago. I brought it up two weeks in a row. But it basically the same pattern. Nice bull flag, came back down, and a little bit of a breakout. The move was great. I got in early Friday, and I thought, oh, this is brilliant. It's kind of flying. It's going up 5-6%, whatever it was. Then it pulled all the way back. Then it kind of pushed up a little bit, and then it kind of dropped off again. But the important thing is it's held above the trend line here, and obviously the 20 moving average. My stop loss is nice and tight around 41, so it's not not the end of the world if it does trigger. But I am looking for that move, obviously, ultimately towards kind of 51.70 for the chart there. So, yeah, I mean, still in a good position, lots of volume at this level as well. So, just a very short, simple trade that I wanted from Rocket Lab. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Go ahead. Do you want
Move
to
on.
look at the tick?
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't.
so you
I
don't know
don't.
them, do you?
I can't see
Yeah,
it.
so we have got a firm.
A firm. Okay, let's build that up. AFMRM.
We've
AFR.
got V as well, Visa.
Visa,
We've got UNH, which we've covered,
we already covered.
CR1, which we've covered, and there's a few more. But I'll pick. We'll pick
Pick
IBM
three,
and
yeah.
SMCI, and we'll leave it on SMCI
Oh,
because I know you like that
SMCI.
one.
Okay. Beautiful.
Okay, so what did I miss? What was next?
Affirm, AFRM.
AFM.
So you said Affirm, Visa, and SMCI?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Affirm. Coming back down to previous resistance slash support. You've got lots of volume here, 20 moving average. Big drop on Friday. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's just a technical kind of double top-in situation going on here. Could just be that.
No, because they
Could be a
report
good
earnings
entry
on
here though.
20, they report earnings on
Late August, I've got here.
oh, okay. Because they got a cut by BTIG, probably on the price target. That's why.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll do that, won't it? Yeah.
Yeah. That, absolutely.
71. 71 could be an interesting spot for buyers though, for continued upside. Got a very clear trend line here as well. If you draw from about there-ish, all the way up.
So one thing I
Yeah.
kind of realized, and this is the correction to my own personal thesis, which I was absolutely wrong. I did think that a firm would probably not do as well as a buy now pay later, but I think I underestimated the general market for buy now pay later. So yeah, no, you get wrong, you get things wrong, because when the stock was down to like in the 30s and 20s, I was like, see, told you so. Next up is Visa.
Visa. Here we go.
Do you
Back down
trade this
towards the
thing?
200 moving average.
Do you
No, I
trade?
don't.
No, okay.
No, I don't personally. We have recently just broken the trend line by the looks of it, though, so that's quite alarming for investors slash traders. Bit of support here at 200 moving average. Not too sure what's this. Kind of a bit of limbo at the moment. Back to a weekly chart. Weekly 50 moving average acted as support quite a few times in the last few years. So we are getting a bit of reaction off of that. So that's a good sign for people that are in the stock. Get rid of these lines, a bit confusing.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you could maybe enter a potential trade. No, not putting now. We'll leave it. Let's move on.
Last, you wanna what was that? The last ticker?
Last ticket, SMCI.
Yep.
You've spoken a lot about SMCI on these live streams throughout the year.
Yep.
Just before you do that, we do have a comment here from Janet. I miss Tesla. Could you cover Tesla?
Yeah, we
We
can
have covered Tesla.
Tesla.
Which, sorry, we covered it already, didn't we? Yeah. So about 20 minutes ago, maybe half an hour ago, we did cover it. So you had to rewind to grab that.
Yeah, like around 15-20 minutes from the beginning. That's when I think that was my pick of the week.
And of course, you can get the rerun on Trading Weekly on YouTube as well, so you can go around that sort of time frame Kaye just mentioned to grab the thoughts there from Tesla. Okay, cool. We'll finish off on SMCI because we are running over a little bit for a lot of time, but it's been great. It's been a great session. We've got 3.4 viewers, 3.4K viewers, what I tried to say there. So yeah, SMCI, what are your thoughts?
Well, they missed the EPS, they missed the revenue, so no wonder the stock is down. And guess what? They have missed revenue from the last 4 quarters. So this is definitely not helping SMCI's case, apart from the whole debacle about their accounting situation. But hey, listen, I think in the long term, I personally I'm buying on on these pullbacks. I also have a lot more leaps on this one, so if I need to buy more leaps, it becomes even cheaper for me. So I have positions in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. So I'm happy for this pullback. But just so you know, the it's now right below the 300-day SMA, and the 200 SMA is around 39. So it's starting to come to that level. I think if you pull back around the levels of 40, 41, I think that could be a good position to enter, because that's where a lot of consolidation has happened. This was the highest from the back in the day. That's also the highest from the whole of May. And that's where the point of contact is for most of the trading, the biggest volume shelf as well. So
So
that's
the
pretty
level
good.
that Kaye was talking about there is the green line, that kind of area. And subsequently, it's kind of a retest of a trend line almost. So could actually be quite an interesting point. I'm going to write that one down, actually. That's quite interesting for me as well, not just you. 40 to 41. Awesome. We've had a few more come in, but of course we are going to have to end it there because we do have to stay somewhat disciplined. But of course we do come here every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We do thank you very much for your suggestions. It's been a great week, great analysis I think we've had from both of us here. You can find us obviously InvestK on X and YouTube and Substack, and for me at Shaun Trays underscore on X, YouTube, and Substack. So we're kind of matching there a little bit at the moment. Sorry if we didn't get to your tickers. We do apologise for that. But again, like I said, come back next week. This week's going to be pretty eventful, isn't it? So I'll let you finish off the stream. Go for it.
Well, this week is going to be all about CPI, PPI, and how do we, if we hear any more news about the trade deals with the different partners. So, with that in mind, keep those data points in mind as you get into those trades for the week or for I don't know, swing trades.
Awesome. We'll
Yeah.
we'll have it there. Thank you very much to Wolfers letting us use the platform. We do really, really appreciate it. It gets us out to more eyes and more viewers, and I think it helps the audience as well. Kind of get a hold of their kind of portfolios and their trading portfolios, etc. So yeah, trade safe, everyone. We'll see you next week.